Welcome to the Captain Inside Show! Hi, let's talk today about a technical interview, collections of JavaScript interview questions and my tips for job seekers. I'm Anatol and you are watching the good parts of the front-end development. In my opinion, attending a job interview once a year at least is a good idea. It keeps you sharp and you get an understanding of key tendencies in the industry. However, sometimes recruiters' questions could be unexpected and confounding, so I prefer to sharpen my eggs beforehand. You can adopt my job interview answers for yourself, because luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Let me start with the article, namely How to Rock Your Next Software Developer Interview by John Sonmez on Simple Programmer. He mentioned that this post was a chapter from his upcoming book. His post starts from kinds of interviews, phone screen and online technical interview, goes through the types of technical interviews and contains the several preparation ideas. It describes for you several interviewing rules that can be very helpful. I believe here's enough useful tips. Another interesting article is How to Win the Coding Interview on Dev Mastery. It consists from 5 parts and covers whiteboard coding, coding on a computer, algorithms, and general suggestions. I would like to highlight one idea. The thing about job interviews, coding ones and regular ones, is that it isn't about you, and it isn't really about the company hiring you. It's 100% about the interviewer. In order to challenge yourself, you have to check the tasks on tutorials point. There is the list of JavaScript questions for a technical interview with answers. I think the questions are intended for juniors or middle-level developers. If you find it too easy, then you might be interested in one more list, titled 21 Essential JavaScript Interview Questions on CodeMentor. It consists of several tricky JavaScript questions with the comprehensive and detailed explanation. I think this list ought to be interesting for senior level developers. Now, I propose you for your consideration a couple of typical interviews which I was asked during almost every interview. When I personally conducting an interview, I also use these questions. My hobbies are programming, chess and digital photography. Also, I like to read digest news about programming when I have some free time. It helps me to find the best way in a modern diversity of programming languages. As a hobby, I've created 2 web projects using Ajax and social API technologies. I maintain them in my free time. I play chess. I believe it develops logical and strategic thinking, but I play rarely. Frankly speaking, I'm just a amateur here. I'm keen on taking pictures of people because it's interesting to observe them and catch their emotions. I prefer to photograph people more than nature, but I like to shoot sunrises and sunsets, cloud at seaside. It's amazing. Honestly speaking, the interviewer is not interested in your hobby. He would like to know whether you meet company values and your future team values, whether you share the same values or not. As a team leader, I was assigned on a project which was used as a reference application. We proposed and implemented some feature like responsive design, Ajax checkout page and some other, which were not common for e-commerce platforms at that time. My team investigated that area, I investigated risk, and we proposed the solution. Now our application was used for development 2 complex e-commerce projects. This question is about your motivation. The interviewer is interested in what type of activities boost your emotion the most, because the positive emotion increases the productivity. An effective leader always gives you a job you like in order to get the best outcome from you. When I was a first-year student at university, I got a very bad mark on chemistry. It was my first exam and I had no idea what to expect. That's why I was nervous and confused. The result was obvious. I had to retake this exam just due to lack of confidentiality. I learned the lesson. Don't be afraid of difficulties, just move on. The interviewer asked this question is eager to know if you know how to fail smart and learn from your mistakes, or you are not mature enough. What is the purpose of a job interview? I agree with Derek Bailey that it lies in building your career network, because our connections do matter. They help you to build your future and your career. Even if you fail, you get one more connection that might be valuable. Of course, it depends on your skills and how effectively you can use this network. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and watch other episodes. This is all for this week. Thanks for watching and keep going.